Page 24, you light up my life. I'd like you to understand everything you're seeing, everything you're reading if possible. Whether you're interested or not, I just feel a need to explain it. At the bottom of page 24, they have two notes, a 1 asterisk and a 2 asterisk note. Well, the 1 asterisk note is from the third measure, the first line. You have an F7 chord. This chord is an F7. Now, if I leave out the top A and just play the other notes, that's an F7 chord. All they're telling you is that the E flat of the chord, which is the 7th of the chord, is played in the right hand. I don't know why they're telling you that. It doesn't matter which hand it's played in. It can be played in any hand. Whatever hand you have handy, go. But that's what it's for, in case you want to know what that note is for. For the double asterisk note, that is referring to the second line, first measure. On page 24, there is a square bracket, all right, with a 1 next to it. The square bracket is pointing to or encompassing both of those notes, the C and the D. And the 1 refers to the first finger. It's telling you which finger to use. It's simply telling you that the first finger, the thumb, is going to play both of those notes. This is quite common in piano. So, yeah. And that's what that note means. Isn't that nice? Yay, T. I don't have a lot to say in this piece because it's pretty straightforward. As usual, I will make a few suggestions. I always do. It's fun. It's what I do, you know. At the bottom of page 25, the last line, you see those 3 chords, each with its own fermata. And those fermatas, by the way, I will simply double the length of each note. So I'm going to hold each of those quarter notes for 2 counts each. So it's here. You're starting out with a 1, 2, 5 on the first one. Yeah, there is a B flat in this. This is in the key of F. It has a B flat. All the B's are flatted unless there's a natural sign. Okay, it's just automatic. So it's a. Yeah. I recommend for the next chord you do a 1, 2, 4. And then for the last quarter note chord, you do a 1, 2, 3. And then for the dotted half note, use the index finger. What I want to do is connect the melody. I'm less interested in the other stuff. I want to feel that melody. I want to... And if I'm using the same... I do not feel a melody there. I'm feeling individual notes. That's a personal thing. But I prefer to feel a melody if I can, which means I'm going to try and use a finger legato somehow to help me out with the melody as much as I can. Can't always do it, but you can do it in a lot of cases. In this case, you can. Connect the top note. Then for the last 2 measures, you can use the 1, 4. It's fine. Yes, the pedal will help you do it. But I'm not interested in what the pedal is doing right now. I'm interested in what it feels like to me. I'll deal with all the other junk later. And believe it or not, that's about all I had for the right hand. Let's talk about the left hand. I got a few things there. Page 24, second line, third measure. They're saying a 5 and then a 3-1. Now that taken by itself is fine. Okay, the problem is it's not by itself. It has something in front of it. So when we play the notes in front of it, now we have a problem. How do you go from a third to a little finger? It's a bit awkward, okay? It's just awkward. I don't like it. So I recommend you do the measure before. You're starting with a 5. And then in that measure with the chord, usually your second finger on the G, and then go up. Because by now you have the pedal down. And the pedal will help continue. You don't have the pedal down before it. So you got to use the fingers to connect the notes. In the third line down, the last 2 measures on page 24, again we're talking left hand. You're here. They're saying a fifth finger on the E, a fifth finger again on the D. I completely disagree with that. Put the fourth finger on the E. Okay? If you do this, you're moving twice. Once to go here, and again to go here. It's unnecessary. You move once to go here, and you're in position. Fourth line, the next measure, just go on. Then I recommend a third finger on the G, 2-1 for the B flat D, 4 on the F, and then the fifth finger on the E. We don't have to move our hand around so much. The fingers can handle this. I'm going to make another suggestion in the left hand on the second measure of the last line on page 24, but I want to wait until we talk about the pedaling. All right, so I'll come back to this measure later. Top of page 25, second measure, you'll notice the thumb is playing two notes again. And in the third and fourth measures, the same fingering we ran into before. So use the 5, 4, 3, 2. And then the next line, the last two measures, we run into this fingering again. You have a 5 in the chord. Use the 4 on the G. The fingering at the end, the bottom of page 25, third to the last measure. Okay, with the left hand, the fingering they show is fine. It's 2-1, 3-1, 2 or 4-2, 5-3. That's fine. Then that last F on the left hand, I'm going to hold F for 6 counts because it's a dotted half note with a fermata, so I'm just going to double it. Let's talk about pedaling. We want to hear the phrasing and the pedaling, okay? So like in the first line, the first phrase is the first 3 measures, all right? And that's fine. Then lift the pedal up with the hands right before you play the last measure in the first line, so we get a little bit of silence in there. If you read the words in the second line, third measure, there's a period after the on. That's a sentence, and then you start a new sentence. Well, the way they got the pedaling going, it's going to be all one phrase. All right. So I would recommend, in order to complement the phrasing, or to bring out the phrasing, that you lift the pedal up on the third beat of that third measure in the second line. So you can lift the right hand up so we get a half a beat of silence before we go on, so the phrases are separated, so it's here. You don't have to lift the left hand up, there's no phrasing there, it's just the right hand, just so the left hand just plays normal. The right hand does it. Okay, just so we get some phrasing, some silence. Okay. Third line down, third measure, you lift the pedal up on the third beat, right? Keep the right hand down, it's tied, don't lift it up. And then lift the pedal up so the third beat of that last measure is by itself. The B flat in the right hand is by itself. And then you can put it down after you play the notes in the fourth line, the first measure. And again, lift the pedal up, fourth line, first measure, lift the pedal up on the third beat. But hold that right hand down, it stays down. Now we get to that measure I want to talk about. We're ending a phrase. This is the last line on page 24. Okay, the first 2 measures is ending a phrase, and the third measure starts a new phrase. But with legato pedaling, you can't tell that. It's all connected. It all sounds like one phrase. What I recommend you do on that, when you get to the second measure there, the pedal's up. All right, not a problem. I recommend you do not put the pedal down until after the second beat, right after. We want to catch the sound from the second beat, but we don't want to catch the sound from the right hand G. We want that to go away. We want that to stop. It's got one, rest, rest. Okay, that's what we want to hear in the right hand. In the left hand, we want to hear it more connected, more smooth. So if I put the pedal down right after I play the second beat, I can connect the whole thing together. One minor adjustment I'm going to make to it is a little more advanced, but you can do it, is on that first beat in the left hand, the quarter note. I'm going to change that quarter note to a half note. I'm going to hold it down through the second beat, okay? Like that with the hand. This is called a finger pedaling. It's where you're going to use the finger to do the job of the pedal. They want the pedal down on the first beat. I don't want it down until the second beat, but I need to hear that. I want to keep that sound going. If I had the pedal down for the measure, that E would sound for the whole measure. You can hear the E sounding, and I want that sound through the measure. I just don't want to pedal it. And if I play it the way it's written and pedal it on the second beat, I lose the E. It goes away. So I'm going to finger pedal the E. I'm going to hold it down for 2 beats and then lift it on the third beat. Because by then I push the pedal down, it's caught the sound. This is a very common technique in piano, so don't shy away from it. Oh, you're nuts, I ain't trying that. But it allows us to have a break in the sound in the right hand and keep the left hand smooth and even. So the first 3 measures of that last line is here. So I have a break in the sound in the right hand, but the left hand just keeps going. Over on page 25, second line, second measure. Take a look at it. They've got smooth pedaling throughout here. And I disagree with that. You've got a rest in the left hand. I'd like to hear it. So I recommend lifting the pedal up on the third beat of that measure so the G is by itself. Then you can put it down right after you play the notes in the next measure. So it's this. Same thing in the next line down. When you have a quarter rest in the left hand in the second measure, I would lift the pedal up so I can hear the rest in the left hand. Now, you can't connect a note on piano, a repeated note. The sound is going to stop when you lift the key up. This is the way the instrument's built, okay? I can get close, but I can't connect them totally. So to accommodate the legato part of this, I would put the pedal down right after I play that third beat. I'm going to lift it up so it's by itself, and then right after I play it, I'm going to put the pedal down. Okay? Other than that, it's straightforward. Piece of cake, right? Let's try this out and see what happens. 3/4 time. It is in the key of F again, so all the B's are flat unless there's a natural sign. And there's some other accidentals stuck in for fun. You'll see them. Remember, bring out the melody right at the first of this. If I don't bring out the melody, this is what it sounds like. Okay, bring out the melody so that MF applies to the melody and everything else stays under it. Let's try it out together slowly. There are no or very few eighth notes in this, so I've speed the metronome up to 70. That's quarter note 70. So I'll give us 3 counts and we'll play it together. Right hand, left hand, foot's on the pedal. 1, ready, go. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, off.